Colorado High School Activities Association football is on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com. Tonight from Beet Digger Stadium in Brush. The Brush Beet Diggers entertain the Fort Morgan Mustangs in the 2016 season opener. John Beltran back with Dave Urig after we join you towards the tail end of Beet Digger Blast Off, as well as our segment there, the same segment on Facebook Live. Dave, I'm not exactly television ready or camera ready, but we pulled it off anyway. But anyway, man, it feels like 3 years since we've done this, Dave.
I'll tell you what, I'm just glad it's that time of year. You know, I walked in the gate and smelled the popcorn, and when I smelled that, it seemed like yesterday.
Opening kickoff brought to you by Buildings by Design. The experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building with Buildings by Design. And that kickoff is high, and it's going to be fielded at around the 10-yard line. Running right across the 20 along the sideline. A seam down the 40-yard line, and then poked out of bounds across midfield was J.P. Hammer, I believe that was, with that long run. And, man, that was a special teams return that proved out very beneficial for the Mustangs. That's, Dave, a return of about 46 yards. Not a good way to start the season for the Beet Diggers. They're at the 44 of the Beet Diggers.
They kicked it to Mendez. You know, they didn't want to take Kimball to get it. They kicked it to him. Maybe they took him a little lightly. He showed a lot of speed as he went down the sideline.
Dalen Knapp is the quarterback. The official spot is at the Beet Digger 44-yard line. 1st and 10. Two in the backfield. It's a solid backfield. Man in motion to the left. There's the handoff to Kimball, running it back towards the middle, cutting it inside. He's towards the 41-yard line. Couple of Beet Diggers in on the play. Looked like the first hit over there came from Isaac Romero, 6 foot 235, gain of 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Mustangs at the Beet Digger 40.
Starting off just running the ball right at the Diggers over the left side in between the guard and the tackle. And Kimball was able to cut that back, and luckily our linebackers were right there to have that force.
2nd down and 6 from the Beet Digger 40. Under center is Knapp. Hard count, and there's the give to Kimball. Stutter steps, and he's got a couple of yards. There's a late flag in there. It's about a gain of maybe 2. Ryan Dunker in on the play along with Riggs Tan. Let's see what the preliminary indication is. Officially a gain of 1. 3rd down and 6. Are they going to wave it? Oh, here we go. Personal foul face mask against the Beet Diggers. I never saw it, Dave. There were so many Beet Diggers in on the play. I never saw that contact, so bad news for Brush. That ball's going to be inside the 25-yard line towards the 24. And again, rough start for the Beet Diggers. 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan. They picked up already their first down on a penalty.
Well, Kimball went up there. He got behind Jorge Ramos, kind of stopped for a minute waiting for a hole to open up, and the Diggers all converged on him and jumped on him, but nobody hit him low.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Beet Digger 24-yard line. Man in motion to the left. Backs are split. Knapp will pitch it left, looking for a seam and swinging it to the outside and getting a seam to the 20, back to the inside of the 10-yard line and spinning out of bounds to the 8. Maybe the 7 is Austin Bryden back. The Beet Diggers had containment over there but couldn't make the play. And looks like the official spot, is that going to be the 8? It looks like maybe the 7. We'll call it a gain of 16. 1st and goal after the pickup by Bryden back.
Yeah, the Diggers did a good job stringing him to the sideline. They're in a 5-3 defense, and our defensive end over here, he was able to stretch it out. He didn't get hooked, but our safety and our outside linebacker needed to come up and use that sideline to make the tackle, and they didn't.
3 in the backfield, Kimball, George Perea, and Austin Bryden back. 1st and goal from the 8. Long count for Knapp. There's the give up the middle to Breidenbach. Breaks a tackle to 5, and he scores. 8 yards away for Austin Breidenbach, and the Mustangs, just like that, lead the game by a score of 6-0.
Yeah, he didn't make it look hard. He hit the hole hard, and he ran quick, but the Diggers really didn't get a hand on him. There was a lot of guys down on their knees getting pushed over.
It's a big offensive line, though, for Fort Morgan. Dominant offensive line. Extra point to be attempted by Joe Hokanadel. John Hokanadel. How could I get that name wrong? I know all the Hokanadels. Perfect snap, and the kick is low, and it is inside the left upright. It's good. 10:31 to go here in the opening quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. All right. Very effective drive there for the Mustangs. They take a 7-0 lead. 4 plays, a minute 20. Austin Breidbach was able to score. John Hokanadel to kick it off. That's a line drive headed to the 10-yard line. Straight ahead to the 20, running left across the 25. There's a seam to the 30. And down at around the 31. That's Trent Mount, known as T-Money. I found that out last year. A pickup of around 20 on the return. Let's see what the Beat Diggers do with their junior quarterback, Cade Urich, Dave, because they got to reestablish some momentum after the defense couldn't stop them. But it wasn't all the defense. The special teams with way too big of a return by J.P. Hammer to begin the game.
Plus that face mask penalty. You know, they held Tate Kimball to probably 2 yards there, and it would have been 3rd and long, and didn't really give ourselves a chance.
Jaron Peterson should be the feature back this year for the Beat Diggers. 1st and 10. Brush at their own 30-yard line. 3 in the backfield. There's the give to the D-back and running left, a big seam across the 35 to the 37. Man, that is hard running there by Peterson. Before he's stacked up there by Nate Cage. 2nd down and 6 to go. Harrison Chisholm in his 10th year as the head coach of the Mustangs. Reed Call in his 2nd year for the Beat Diggers. 2nd down and 4. We'll set the starting lineup here momentarily for the Beat Diggers. From the 36-yard line, the give to Peterson, running off left tackle, slips out of a tackle, 1st down. He's down at the 45-yard line, a gain of 9. And, man, Peterson, he runs extremely hard, Dave.
He sure does. Brush is coming out our eye, and they were unbalanced to the right side. But 2 plays in a row, they ran it to the weak side and trying to get Fort Morgan to overcompensate, play to the strength, and run it to the weak side, and it sure is paying off.
Beat Digger starting lineup brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Cade Urich, the quarterback. Part of that offense with Jaron Peterson and many others in there. 1st and 10 for the 45. We'll get to them momentarily. There's the give right up the gut and rumbling his way to the 48-yard line. Man, that's the freshman, Nick Wellen. Tell you what, you got to be good to start as a freshman, Dave.
Tell you what, he just had a nice run there. I'll tell you what, and I'm not sure if one of those other runs earlier wasn't him. But, again, he was just running hard.
Johnny Cyprian, Isaac Romero, Andrew Guzman, Riggs Tan, Kenny Stegner, Victor Campa. There'll be a lot of those on both sides of the ball. Jaron Peterson, Colin Cole, they play on both sides. Ben Brown and Adrian Lopez also comprise part of that offense with some of the defense. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 48-yard line. Man in motion to the right is Mount. Out of the shotgun, the ball is dropped and Mount picks it up. And then it's fumbled again, and I think Fort Morgan might have it at the 48-yard line. And yep, or are they going to say that it was taken away when the Beat Diggers had the ball on the ground by McBride? So apparently Mount fell on it, or maybe one of the offensive linemen and Guzman. Beat Diggers got lucky. 3rd down and 7 as they ran that play out of the shotgun.
Mount was going to be wide open, too, because we had a good block on their defensive end over here, and they were blitzing a linebacker up the middle, so they weren't going to have that force that they were going to need to contain him, and just dropped the ball.
3rd down and 7 for Brush. Out of the shotgun is Cade Urich. Receiver split left and right. Looks like they're coming on a blitz. The option left, Urich is hit. He pitches it at the last second, and there's going to be a loss back to the 45-yard line. Jaron Peterson had no shot, and there was tremendous penetration over there by Nate Cage. 4th down and 10. The Beat Diggers will have to punt with 7:50 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Morgan leads 7-0 after the 8-yard touchdown by Austin Breidenbach.
But Brush came out with a lot of different looks, just on those 4 plays. Tell you what, it was fun to watch.
All right, Tate Kimball back to receive at the 15-yard line. Perfect snap. And that ball headed towards the sideline, bouncing at the 25, down at the 26-yard line. That was Daniel Abatka on the punt for the Beat Diggers. A punt of around 28 yards, but you know what, Dave? It doesn't matter how long it travels. It's the return that counts, and the Beet Diggers don't want any part of a long return by Tate Kemble, so with 7:25 to go first quarter, 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 27. A lot better than the last field position when the Beet Diggers were already in a hole.
That's for sure. It was good to see that the Diggers kicked it towards the sideline, not just kicking it down the middle of the field. Obviously been coached pretty well.
Dylan Woods, a sophomore, is down at the 34-yard line for the Mustangs, being attended to. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East and Fort Morgan will fit you into the car truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East, and find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal. And he's limping badly. And normally when you're a sophomore, Dave, you're just a special teams player. And for Woods, that might be his last stint tonight, as he's putting no weight on that right ankle.
Yeah, he tried to walk on it. Even the coach walked off, thought he could walk on it, but he just couldn't.
Well, Dave, let's see what the Beet Diggers can do defensively. Remember, you return 4 or 5 offensive linemen, starting linemen. I mean, that's a huge advantage for Fort Morgan. 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. The D-back once again is Tate Kemble. He's got the football. Stutter stepping back to the middle, across the 30, slips out of a tackle. Then he's down at around the 32-yard line. It took about 2 or 3 Beet Diggers to bring him down because he's so shifty. Looked like Jaron Peterson was around the football. 2nd down, and we will call it about 5 yards to go. And you would think Kemble's going to be headed toward at least a 100-yard night. He's got too much breakaway speed.
Yeah, he's one of the top backs for sure. 3A football. He'd knock everybody dead in 2A.
2nd down and 5 to go at the 32. The backs in an eye. Dalen Knapp, the quarterback, hands it off to Campbell, and he's hit in the backfield and stuffed. Oh, tremendous penetration. There were like 3 or 4 Beet Diggers in there. Count them. I mean, let's start over there with Isaac Romero. And once the 6', 235-pound senior grabbed Tate Kemble, he was going nowhere. And in fact, he lost 4 yards, close to 5. 3rd down and 9 to go.
Yep, great defensive play there by the Diggers. Again, lining up in a 5-3 defense, and oftentimes they're doing some stemming. They have their linebackers up on the line of scrimmage. They move them back right before the ball snap. That time they lined up square and just attacked.
Trey McBride is the lone receiver to the right. 3rd down and 9, just shy of the 28-yard line, lining up on the right side of the field. Knapp under center. Knapp will give it on the counter, running right as Campbell. He's got a seam to the outside. A 1st down along the sideline. The Beet Diggers could not contain him. He's across the 35 towards the 40. And on a 3rd and 9, he picks up 12 yards and a Mustang 1st down.
You know, they lined up sort of in that double wing situation, and that's kind of what happened, and they handed it off instead of the pitch. But it was just a good run there by Kimball and some really good blocking over there on that side as they were able to seal our defensive end off.
1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 41-yard line. 5:37 to go opening quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing on Austin Breidenbach's 8-yard run. Knapp awaiting the snap. Knapp on the counter, gives it on the wide side to Breidenbach. He's got a big block, and he's still on his feet along the sideline and hit across the 50-yard line. That was Daniel Abadka making the play. But McBride threw a huge block, and that allowed Austin Breidenbach to get to the outside, go from the 41 to, let's see, did he get to the 47? Yeah, we'll call it that, a gain of close to 12 and another Mustang 1st down, Dave.
So Breidenbach had the night, 3 carries for 36 yards. But again, the Diggers had him right over there by the sideline. Our guy tried to make the tackle. He should have just stayed with him and pushed him out of bounds.
Is this just inexperience in your mind, besides the fact that Fort Morgan's really good?
Well, I think Breidenbach shocking everybody with his speed, that's for sure.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs, just shy of the Beet Digger 47. Receiver to the right is McBride. They've yet to throw the football. Beet Diggers are coming on a blitz. There's the handoff on the counter to Kemble, running right back to the middle, slips out of a tackle, still on his feet, and he lunges across the 40 towards the 39. Abadka got him from behind, but once again a productive gain. That's a pickup of close to 8. 2nd down and a long 2 for the Mustangs. They have picked up 33 yards in the last 3 plays all on the ground.
Yeah, 27 yards now on 6 carries for Kimball. You know, he gets hit, but he kind of limp legs, doesn't he? They have his leg, and he'll just let his leg go limp, and he kind of pulls it through and picks up those extra yards.
Officially, it'll be a 2nd down and 3 for the Mustangs at the Beet Digger 40. One receiver split out now to the left, but this has been run, and more running for Fort Morgan. With a back split handoff right up the middle, Kimball hit after a couple of yards. Not going to be a first down, but it will be a 3rd and 1. The tackle was made over there by Kenny Stegner. Stegner is a 6'1", 260. That's what I have him listed here. Are they going to measure? They shouldn't measure. It should be a 3rd down and 1 here. By the way, let's mention the assistants for both teams. Ken Call, Rick Call, Travis Lefevre, Aaron Quinlan, Dusty Quick. 2 new assistants, Dave. Brady Walter and my former Mustang broadcast partner from 14 years ago, Bob Bear.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of Mustangs helping out the Diggers right now on that coaching staff. And Brady Walters is a PE teacher over in my school at Thompson now, so it's nice to have
Wiggins
Brady.
Tiger.
Yeah, he's a Wiggins guy.
Yep. And for the Mustangs, assisting Harrison Chisholm, Josh Langford, Jim Kreckemeyer, Jeff Peterson, Chris Cobley, Greg Edson, Ty Davies, Seth Wolf, and Ty Traherne, the new boys basketball coach. Solid staffs on both sides. They really know their football. I mean, that's easy to say, but it's proven to be true.
Well, both teams need to count their blessings because not every high school has quality staff like that.
It'll be a gain of 2, 3rd down and 1 to go with the football just shy of the 37-yard line. It's really less than a yard. Oh, no, he picked it up. Okay, my bad. It's a 1st down. All right. First game of the season for me, Dave. I got to wake up. That's 3 first downs on the drive as we approach the 4-minute and 15-second mark of the opening quarter. The Mustangs with a lead, 7-0. On 1st and 10 for the Beet Digger 37. Play action. Knapp rolling left, throws towards the sideline. The pass is incomplete. A diving attempt along the sideline at the 25-yard line, and it looked like the receiver, Adrian Marquez, was open. It was a low throw, and he couldn't make the grab.
But it was a bullet. I'll tell you what, Knapp showed that he's got that speed to be able to roll out. He also had to throw that with his right hand, rolling left, and that's tough to do. And
Knapp barely threw last year because they were winning so big and because it was his first start. Now it's his, 14th start. 12-1 last year, 2nd down and 10 for the Beet Digger 37. The senior quarterback, Knapp, is going to hand it off right up the gut to Breidenbach, and he backs his way for a gain of close to 6 or 7 across the 35 before he was stacked up. Pickup of 5. Kenny Stegner was one of the 2 Beet Diggers into the play. 3rd down and 5 to go. 4-down territory for the Mustangs here in the opening quarter.
Beet Diggers have shifted out of that 5-3 into a 4-4 look, just trying to give that offensive line of Fort Morgan something different to look at and make it harder for Morgan to call the plays.
3rd down and 5 at the 32. Let's see if they give it to Kimball. No. To throw out to his right, caught by McBride at the 26. 1st down as he tumbles to the 22. Well-executed play from Dalen Knapp to Trey McBride. It's a pickup of 10, Dave.
It's a great pass and a great throw that the Diggers just gave him a lot of cushion. Geez, our corner was probably 6 yards away from him when they threw the ball, and just too hard for him to come back and make a play on it. But it was a good, sure tackle we made by Mount.
The official spot is the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Knapp is going to hand it off to Kimball, running wide to the left. He's going to be held up beautifully and then taken down, almost wrestled down. And that was Daniel Abadka right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down, and he might have lost a yard. 2nd and 11.
It's been tough for Kimball today. You know, we know he's got that breakaway speed, and he's probably going to break one loose somewhere in here, but Diggers are doing a good job at containing him with only 28 yards on 8 carries.
But, Dave, this is a 5-minute drive. I mean, talk about ball control, and that's Harrison Chisholm's game. He wants to shorten the game, make this extremely quick. But they're taking their time in the huddle. Let's see, the Mustangs might have to take a timeout. Yeah, they're going to have to take a timeout. They're in that huddle way too long unless they snap it pretty quickly. The play clock is still not at 5. Now it's at 5. Second down and 11 at the Beet Digger 24. And there is the delay of game. And that was very clunky. I mean, you have to know. And Knapp has to know better. He's a smart quarterback. He's got to know better. He saw that play clock winding down and still waited too long to get the ball snap from his center.
Yeah, it almost seemed like he was trying to get into that delay sort of offense where they don't snap it until you're within that 5 count. That might have been the case, but he sure wasn't watching that back, Judge.
Yeah. 2:11 to go first quarter. John Beltran with Dave Uhrig. The Beet Diggers trail the Mustangs 7-0. It'll be a second down and 16 from the Beet Digger 29. Critical series now for the Beet Digger defense, considering that Fort Morgan's going to pick up all that yardage to get a first down. Man in motion to the right, resetting. 2 in the backfield. There is the pitch left. Kemble stutter steps, cuts it back to the middle, nearly tackled from behind. Tries to swing it to the outside and is taken down by T-Money. What a play by Trent Mount for a loss of about a yard and a half. It'll be third and about 15 at the 30.
It was almost like he was going to break it loose. He ran right by a couple of our kids and even had him standing there surprised that he changed direction so fast. But Mount shot in there and he tackled him below the knees, held on to that ankle, and Kimball had to go down.
Correction, 3rd and 17 from the 30. They have chewed up almost 6 minutes, nearly half the quarter here. And this is their second drive. Well, you got to look for McBride, right? I mean, if you're going to pass the ball, you get the receiver to the left is Marquez, McBride to the right. Although they ran on a 3rd and long before. Knapp on 3rd down. Play action, back to throw, steps up in the pocket, gets out of trouble, along the sideline, back to the middle. Then he's going to be stacked up at around the 25. They haven't blown the whistle yet and then take it down. I'm surprised they didn't blow the whistle because, man, I mean, that's a lot of weight on you, Dave. It's a pickup of 5. It'll be 4th down and 12 to go for Fort Morgan. Inside of a minute to go, and coming up will be the 13th play of the drive.
Riggs Tan caught him right there, met him head on, shoulder pad right in his chest, and just drove him backwards. Like you said, the officials didn't blow the whistle. Tan kept driving his feet, and when he took him to the ground, he kind of just powerhoused his shoulder right into his chest.
Here we go, 4th down and 12 to go from the 25. Critical series here for Brush, critical play in Beet Digger territory. Receivers split left and right. McBride to the right. Knapp back to throw, deep drop, setting up a screen, throws it out to the right, caught by Kimball along the sideline. He slips, then he's going to be taken down. Let's see, that might have been Peterson out there, but he read it beautifully, and it thrown for a loss as well. That is going to be back to the 28, I believe. That was such a deep drop on the screen, a loss of 3. Beet Diggers take over, 19.4 seconds to go after a 13-play drive.
Right. You know, that's just some heads-up football there by the Diggers, paying attention to where their best players are at, making sure they have a helmet on them all the time.
1st and 10 for the Beet Diggers at their own 28-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Quarterback Cade Uhrig is going to hand it off, running right. That's a big hole for Peterson. Back to the middle, across the 35 to the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 10. If he doesn't have a first down, he missed it by a credit card, but he's right at the stick. And let's see, they're going to say 2nd and inches. No, 2nd and 1. They drew the football back. That's the end of the opening quarter. Official gain of 9 with the score. Fort Morgan 7, Brush nothing. It's a 1-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Uhrig. Let's begin the second quarter at Beet Digger Stadium. The Beet Diggers trail the Mustangs 7-0 on an 8-yard touchdown run on the first drive by Austin Breidenbach. But now Brush has some momentum, Dave, after stopping Fort Morgan on their second drive, which consumed about 7 minutes. First, make it 2nd and inches from the 37. Handoff Peterson, first down along the left sideline. Then he slips, and he was also hit at the same time as the tackle was made by junior Grayson Garber. Pick up a 3, and the Beet Diggers do pick up that first down, and sometimes 2nd and inches is better than 1st and 10 because you have a myriad of options, but Reed Call is keeping it simple right now.
Yeah, but Coach Call is pretty sharp about doing the same thing Morgan did to us and getting the ball in the money players' hands and putting them in different positions where they can make the plays.
1st and 10 for the Beet Diggers at their own 40-yard line. I love the way Peterson runs. Let's see if he gets the ball again. They're coming at a blitz. Handoff to the deep back, and that hit right at the line of scrimmage. For the Beet Diggers, I believe that was Adrian Lopez. J.P. Hammer was right there. There was nothing he could do there as you had an extra man to pick up. 2nd down and 10 to go for Brush.
Yeah, they blitzed like crazy. They had 8 guys in the box, and every gap was filled. Just too many guys for our 5 linemen to block.
Colin Cole and Trent Mount are the receivers to the right. One receiver to the left. This time, Cade Urich is in a shotgun. Awaiting the snap. T-Money in motion to the left. Doesn't have the handoff. Handoff up the middle. Peterson tries to slip out of a tackle, but he's down after a gain of 1. And that's the definition of a solo tackle made by Jimmy Keller, a junior linebacker. 3rd down and 9 to go for Brush at their own 41.
Sort of an Air Force play where they faked the handoff to the first guy and then followed it right away there with Peterson. Like you said, just a textbook tackle there by Fort Morgan.
By the way, we pointed out it's a beautiful night. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, perfect temperature, really no wind. 3rd down and 9 at the 41 out of a shotgun. Urich rolls to his right, still rolling, wants to take off with the football, then he slips at the 40, tried to cut it back. Keller was right there, along with Trey McBride. It's a loss of 1, 4th down and 10, and the B-Diggers will have to get back out on defense. Daniel Abarca to punt for Brush, and Tate Kemble back for Fort Morgan. And so far, the B-Diggers have done a very good job keeping the ball away from Kemble on special teams.
Yep, we need that same kind of kick. You know, he's in the middle of the field. Kimball's in the middle of the field on the other side on the 25.
He's got the ball this time at the 22 off the punt from Abarca, and then he tried to slip right between 2 players, and Colin Cole. Is that a wrestler out there that made the play?
You know, Colin Cole's a sure tackler. Everybody remembers the big play he had against Bayfield last year with that interception. He's out there to play, and he knows how to play defense.
The return of 12 yards. The tackle was made at the 34-yard line, so Fort Morgan has it. 9:40 to go, 2nd quarter. In Brush, the Mustangs lead the B-Diggers 7-0 on an 8-yard touchdown run by Austin Breidenbach. Now they'll line up on what would be the right hash mark. There it is, almost the right hash mark. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Let's see if Kemble gets the ball, and no, it's the up man. Right up the gut across the 35 to the 37. And I believe, Dave, that must have been, is that Kate Bulis?
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah, that's who I saw there. Pick up, we'll give him a long 3, 2nd down again and 7 with that ball just shy of the 38-yard line. Yeah, that was a quick hitter. Well, Bulis now lining up as a tight end. So Breidenbach is now in that backfield with Tate Kemble. Just shy of the 38. Handoff on the counter to Kemble, running wide to the left, slips, picks up his balance across the 45. He's into the secondary of 1st down to the 42-yard line before Colin Cole made the tackle. But it's a gain of 20 yards for Tate Kemble, and the B-Diggers still had a chance to make the play well before the tackle was made.
Yeah, he slipped. It almost looked like he touched his knee back there behind the line of scrimmage. But, again, just kind of leaving our feet a little bit and losing track of our angles.
1st and 10, Fort Morgan at the B-Digger 42-yard line. Got 8:45 to go, 2nd quarter. 7-0 in favor of the Mustangs on the left side of the field. Knapp with a handoff to Kemble running right. He's got some room, and in fact, that's a big gainer. And then we've got across the 35. Is there a flag down? They just stopped it for the movement of the chains, or a 1st down. Yep, to the 31. Gain of 11 for Tate Kemble. That was a premature stopping of the clock there. But anyway, they're right back up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's a quick hitting offense. Boy, they come right at you when they got the momentum.
1st and 10 for the B-Digger 31. Knapp will hand it off to the up man across the 30 and bowling his way to about the 23-yard line for a gain of 8. That should be Austin Breidenbach. It is. And now there's a timeout called by the B-Diggers. I mean, that's a good timeout, Dave. That defense got to be worn down. It's going to be 2nd, and they'll call it to about a yard and a half to go.
Yeah, they're losing their momentum a little bit. They need to slow Fort Morgan down. But, our front 5, we're in that 5-3. We're not blitzing a whole lot. they got us on roller skates right now.
Beat Digger timeout brought to you by Greg Mullen of State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. Hey, you wonder, Dave, in the past couple of years, if you played Fort Morgan later on in the season, that's a tough first opponent. However, the advantage is that you know what you got to work on.
Right. But, this is kind of a game, I think, for both sides, both coaching staffs for sure. They're probably glad to get out of the way because both teams put a lot of stock in this thing.
Yeah.
They need to worry about their own divisions.
You're right about that. Second down, we'll call it a short 2. Football just inside the Beat Digger 23-yard line. Fort Morgan looking for a double-digit advantage. Handoff, Kimball, back through the middle of the 20 to the 15, cuts it back to the right, and he stumbles his way to about the 12. It's another first down, and it's a gain of 10 for Kimball.
So to start the game, Kimball's got carries of 4, 2, 5, -4. Since then, we're seeing 10, 11, 20, 8, 12.
Yeah, the official spot now is the 11 on 1st and 10. Beat Diggers coming on a blitz, and the ball is on the ground. And let's see who's got it. Breidenbach had it momentarily, but I think the Mustangs fell back on it. Oh, that could have been a huge break for Brush. Remember, that's how they stayed in the game in the quarterfinals against Bayfield. Mm-hmm. Bayfield was so dominant running the ball. Back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10 for the 11. This will be the 7th play of the drive. They've only chewed up a couple of minutes here, even though they started at their own 34-yard line.
Well, Brush sure does need that break, and that break doesn't necessarily have to be a fumble, but they need to come up with that big tackle at the line of scrimmage, the tackle they've been missing.
Here's a late entry. That might be Cade Bulis coming into the game. Lining up as a tight end on the left side. 2nd down and 10 for the Brush 11. Dalen Knapp hands it off with the counter to Breidenbach. Running room to the outside. Now the Beat Diggers try to cut him off. Slips out of a tackle to the 5, and then he scores. Oh, they had him back at the 11-yard line. And Austin Breidenbach did it again, his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Mustangs lead the Beat Diggers 13-0.
Yep, Albarca had him out there. He did such a good job of fighting off that outside shoulder of Bulis, the tight end that was trying to seal him off. He held it off all the way out there to the sideline, but he just couldn't quite make the tackle.
Now the extra point to be attempted by John Hokenettle, the junior. Awaiting the snap is Isaac Linker. There it is, and the kick is up. That looks good from here. And no, it's off to the left, slightly off to the left. 7 minutes even to go, 2nd quarter. It is Fort Morgan 13, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Hokenettle kicks it off, bounces to the 12-yard line. That looks like Peterson across the 25. He's got a seam, and then he's down at the 30. A return of about 18 before the tackle was made by Fort Morgan special teamer Alex Heyer, a senior. That drive for Fort Morgan, 7 plays, 66 yards in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Austin Breidenbach with an 11-yard run, and the PAT was off to the left. 13-0 Fort Morgan.
Peterson had a nice run back there. Showed his elusiveness where he took that jab step to the outside and then cut it back up in the middle for another 5 yards.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 30-yard line. Urich is out of a shotgun. Mountain motion to the left, now resets. High snap. Urich's going to take off with the football. Seemed to the outside of the 35, the sideline of the 40, but there's a flag down as he is taken down from behind at about the 45, maybe the 46, but this one is definitely coming back.
Yeah, that's out there where a block in the back or one of those holds happens on a defensive end.
And sometimes one of those is needed, but I thought there he had the seam, and he was already a little bit down the field before that flag was thrown.
The exciting thing is we all wondered what kind of athleticism Cade Urich had, and it was pretty neat to see him take off and run. Big 6'2" guy, weighs close to 200 pounds. He can run like that. That's a good weapon.
Man, how things have changed, Dave. Back just a few years ago, I mean maybe several, like 9 or 10 years ago, they would never announce at the college level who the penalty was on. Now they're doing it at the high school level.
Right.
Wow. All right.
Accountability.
Yes. Yep. 1st and 14. So it amounts to a 4-yard penalty for the Beet Diggers at their own 26-yard line. Going to have to go second quarter. Fort Morgan 13, Brush nothing. Out of a shotgun with trips to the right. Urich awaits a snap. Perfect snap. Rolls to his right. Wants to throw it out to his left. Caught by Peterson. Needs a block, but he's going to cut back to the inside, which was a mistake, and then he's mauled at the 24-yard line. And that'll be a loss of a couple. Dave, I thought he took it to the outside. He had some daylight with only a couple of defenders there, but back to the inside, there were like 5 guys.
Yeah, he thought he was going to cut back against the grain, but you're right, because his receiver out here, I couldn't tell who it was, had a really nice block. He had his kid sealed off, and I think Peterson could have got to the sideline.
Second down and 16 to go for the 24. Again, trips to the right. Urich in a shotgun. Cade takes off with a football after stutter stepping right up the middle, but it's a short gain to the 27. Not much there. One of the Mustangs in on the tackle was Jimmy Keller. It's a gain of 3. It'll be third down, and we'll call it about 13.
Well, he was going to run it the whole time. All the receivers, they had everybody spread out, but they were all out there blocking already, so it was a design run, quarterback draw.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the fake was sold enough, but he had a little bit of a seam. But he did all he could. There were too many Mustangs there. Third down and 13 for the 27. Urich again in a shotgun, trips to the right. He's got the football, rolling to his right, setting up, throwing over the head of the intended receiver, Ben Brown, on the right flat at around the 26-yard line. Just didn't follow through. It'll be fourth down and 13 to go for the Beet Diggers with 5:01 to go. Before the break, they'll have to punt.
Yeah, I think they're Diggers are a little disappointed. I think they were hoping he was going to go down the field with it rather than throwing that quick out just because they needed more yards.
Well, one thing that's positive is that Jaron Peterson has run the ball fairly well in this game.
You know, the Diggers haven't played that poorly. Defensively, they're where they need to be. I'd say the tail of the game for the Diggers is just missed tackles.
Perfect snap to Abatka. He gets it off, but that punt is going to nearly sail over the head of Tate Kemble. He picks it up at around the 30, runs to his left to the 35, looking for a block, back to the inside to the 40, still on his feet, and he's down at about the 45-yard line in his own territory, and we've got a late flag. We got a helmet is off for Fort Morgan. Dylan McBride is on the ground, and his helmet is off. So let's see if he took it off or it was ripped off him, because depending upon what happened, is what will determine who the penalty is on.
Well, there was some extended blocking out there for sure, but I did see one of the Diggers take a swing, and that's when the flags flew in.
Well, if that's a swing, Dave, that could lead to an ejection.
Yeah.
But the Mustangs are walking back a little bit.
After the play, personal foul, number 84.
Oh, yeah.
15 yards.
It's against the Beet Diggers, and if Fort Morgan scores again before the break, then the Beet Diggers are in trouble. Personal foul against Brush. So the drive will start in Beet Digger territory. And they already trail by 13. That should be, well, are they going to mark it from the spot of the foul as opposed to the end of the play? Yeah, it's at the end of the play, so it's at the 40 of Brush. First and 10 for the Mustangs. And they got plenty of time, 4:49 to go in the second quarter. Dalen Knapp. Beet Diggers are coming on a blitz. At least they're giving that indication. Handoff to Breidenbach. Big hole right up the middle. He's got 15 yards still in the secondary, and he's tackled inside the 25 to about the 23. It's a gain of 17 and a Mustang first down for Austin Breidenbach.
So Breidenbach's got 8 carries, 77 yards. Tate Kimball's got 12 carries, 67 yards. I wonder what Morgan would have been like last year if they had had Breidenbach running right there next to him.
Yeah, he did get some action later on in the year. First and 10 at the 23-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Handoff, Kimball running right to the 20, back to the middle of the 15. First down to about the 11. Before the Beet Diggers were there to make the play, Trent Mount was in there. We got a Beet Digger on the ground, a gain of 12. And on the ground for Brush is Andrew Guzman. By the way, the first, we'll check that. We'll get to that a little bit later on as they are attending to Andrew Guzman. Coons Pump and Well Supply in Atwood is your groundwater professionals, serving their customers for over 30 years. You can count on them when your well goes down or you need a water system. Call 522-2035. Coons Pump and Well Supply in Atwood. Dave, this was the one concern that Coach Call had, staying healthy against a very physical football team.
Yep, they're big. They hit hard. But, you know, our kids are right with them. We have 3 experienced linemen back, too. Like I said, I think to me, you know, we've had a lot of opportunities to make tackles at or near the line of scrimmage and missed them. And, you know, Fort Morgan hasn't. And that's been the difference to me.
Well, guys like Breidenbach and Kemble, especially Kemble, so much experience that somehow they know to wiggle their way out of situations like that.
Yeah.
Beat Diggers have made a couple of decent plays, but not enough of them.
Right. They got to put 2 plays together. But unfortunately, you know, they kind of, you know, softened us up, and now they're starting to run at will.
Well, you've used that term many times, tenderizing. There's the handoff. Kemble right side inside the 5, and he scores. Tate Kemble from 11 yards out just wiggled his way in between Beat Digger defenders, and the Mustangs lead 19-0.
Yeah, Kimball's last carries, his last 5 carries go 20, 11, 10, 12, and 11. Breidenbach's last 2 carries, 17 yards, 11 yards. We held him for a -1, but before that he had 8, 6, and 12. So they're just kind of running at us right up the middle.
47-second drive for Fort Morgan. John Hokenettle with the extra point, and he booms it right in between the uprights. 4:02 to go before halftime. And the Mustangs are having their way in brush. It's Fort Morgan 20, and the Beat Diggers nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Trent Mount just took the ensuing kickoff from the 18 to the 31-yard line. Looked like a late hit. He was definitely tackled out of bounds. There was some momentum towards the sideline. Return of 13. The Beat Diggers have it, trailing 20-0, 3:57 to go. In the second quarter, 3 plays, 40 yards for Fort Morgan on their previous drive. Kemble scores from 11 yards out. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 31-yard line. Urich hands it off right side to Lopez. He's smothered after a gain of about 1.5 yards. Trey McBride with a penetration along with Jimmy Keller. It'll be 2nd down and 9 to go for the Beat Diggers with 3:37 remaining in the second.
Mustangs playing real aggressive defense. 4 guys up there on the line of scrimmage, but they're always blitzing somebody.
We'll call it the 33. 2nd down and a short 9. There's the give on the left side across the 35, and Peterson still on his feet, tackled at the 39. Picks up 6 yards in a play. I mean, Peterson's really the lone man with success for the Beat Diggers. Isaac Linker made the hit for Fort Morgan. Now that'll set up a 3rd down and about 3 for Brush.
Brush has got 37 yards offense unofficially, and Peterson's got 30 of those.
Wow. That tells a story right there. 3rd down and 3 from the 39. Urich is under center. Mustangs have about 5 or 6 in the box, if not more. Handoff Peterson. 1st down back towards the middle after starting right across the 40 to the 44. Maybe the 45. We'll give Peterson a gain of close to 5 yards.
Yep, he did a good job. He hit the hole hard and just kept driving his feet. You saw him out there churning his legs, even though the Fort Morgan kid made contact. Kid made contact high. Peterson just kept driving his legs.
Beat Diggers have 2 timeouts remaining in the opening half. 1st and 10 for the 45 on their own side of the field. Urich will hand it off to Peterson, running left, spins out of a tackle, then he's taken down at the 47. And there's too many Mustangs there. Nate Cage made the hit, a gain of only 2.
Yeah, they got 9 guys in the box. Everybody's up there within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're basically going forward, and they have 2 safeties that are playing about 10 yards back. I think the Diggers are forced to have to somehow throw the ball, give Urich enough time to throw the ball and make Fort Morgan play some honest defense.
Second down for Brush at their own 47-yard line. They've had glimpses of success, but again, they just can't put it together consistently. Everybody bunched in tight. 3 in the backfield. Urick, play action, rolling to his right, throwing underneath, and the pass is off the left hand of Adrian Lopez and incomplete, and he was wide open along the right side, but Cade couldn't get it to him. Third down.
Yeah, that waggle pass, he's running his preferred direction since he's right-handed, but he's just got a bullet arm, and like you said, you know, he threw that thing on a rope and just couldn't quite reach out far enough to grab it.
3rd and 8 for the Bead Diggers at their own 47-yard line. A packed house at Bead Digger Stadium. Minute 36 to go before the break. Fort Morgan 20. Brush nothing. Receiver split left and right. Urick drops the football and falls on it at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if Fort Morgan calls a timeout. It would make sense, right?
Yeah, if they want to put another point on the board here, but they might be content with where they're at.
The Bead Diggers do receive the second half kickoff. By the way, coming up at halftime, we'll have this day in Bead Digger football history. September 2nd has been very good for Brush. They won in 2005 and they won in 2011, but both games were in Fort Morgan. But Dave, as I talked to you about it before, this series has never gone back and forth, at least not in the last 20-some-odd years. Fort Morgan won 4 in a row from 98 to 01. The Bead Diggers from 02 to 06. The Mustangs from 07 to 09. Bead Digger 2010 to 2014. Fort Morgan last year, heavy rush. And the punt is going to be fielded by Tate Kimball at the 10. Up the middle to the 15. Stiff arm. Then he's down at around the 20. We got a flag. Well, that's a heck of a tackle made over there by Ryan Dunker. But let's see what the flag is all about.
Dunker almost ran past him, but he reached out there low and caught him down below the knees. And that's what you got to do to Kimball. You can't try to tackle him upstairs.
45.4 seconds to go. It's a face mask. Incidental face mask against the Bead Diggers. That's the other issue, Dave.
Penalties.
I don't think Fort Morgan, if they have a penalty in this game, I don't even remember what the penalty was. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Digger penalties are silly. Our hands are up there. Even that personal foul, we're throwing a punch. You can't have your hands up there around a guy's face.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 26-yard line. Austin Breidenbach has touchdown runs of 8 and 11. Tate Kimball an 11-yard score. They've got 74 yards to go, 2 timeouts, and only 45.4 seconds. Let's see if they're going to test nap here. And what do we have here? Well, there's finally a penalty on Fort Morgan, an illegal substitution, or they call it a substitution infraction. So now it's at the 21-yard line. They're 79 yards away.
They got plenty of guys on the field right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. First and 15 at the 21. Knapp is in a shotgun. Throws it out to his right. The pass is caught along the sideline, and Trey McBride has got it. Bead Digger fans want some illegal block across the 25 to the 28.
Yeah, the Digger got blocked before the ball actually got to the receiver.
That would have been interference instead of a legal block. Fort Morgan calls timeout. There was no flag. And the official gain will be, well, did he get, let's see, I might be misreading that. Yeah, to the, all right, he got to the 29. Yeah, that's a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 7 to go. 28.7 seconds to go, and Bead Digger faithful are they're not happy, Dave.
On their feet, throwing their hands, a few people.
And the Mustangs have called their second timeout. Dave and I will be here a week from tomorrow. And that's because the Bead Diggers were supposed to play in Lamar, and they resodded the field, didn't work out. So the Bead Diggers get an additional home game. Instead of 4 home games this year, 5 of the 9 games are at home, including the first 3.
I couldn't be happier than playing Lamar here. I ride with you.
Say
down
that
there,
again.
get tickets.
Yeah, that's right. 2nd down and 7 with a football at the 29. There's the give right up the gut, and breaking out of a tackle to the 35 is going to be Austin Breidenbach. It's a gain of 6. And the hit was made over there by Isaac Romero. Wow, they got it all the way. I thought it was down at the 35. They're giving him the 37? Yeah, that ball is not spotted correctly. Now they got to spot that back there just across the 35 to close to 7 yards in a play. It'll be third and less than a yard to go. 21.3 seconds to go. Fort Morgan right up to the line of scrimmage. On third down, Knapp to throw, looking. Will heave it up the right side. McBride being covered tight. It's out of bounds. No shot. Pass was thrown out of bounds, and Trent Mount is limping along the sideline. Fourth down with 6.7 seconds to go. Oh, I wouldn't even punt here. I'd go for it. 6.7, send him downfield. Do a hook and lateral.
Yep, they could throw the ball down the field and take those 6 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I would not punt. But let's see.
Could be a fake punt right here.
Hey, they're up 20-0, so what do I know? Fort Morgan's done everything right tonight. But it just seems that you're better off going for it. And who knows? They might. See, Kemble's the punter. Let's not assume that he's going to punt this thing. He could run around out there and just run out the clock.
The brush coaches are telling their guys to scoot up.
Fort Morgan, second timeout.
Mustangs call another timeout. Again, with 6.7 seconds to go. And leading the Beat Diggers 20-0. Dave and I will be with you for another segment of Facebook Live during the postgame. Beat Digger replay does return for its 13th consecutive season. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't settle for just any old frozen water. Get AC Ice. You can find it at any local grocery or convenience store near you. That's AC Ice. Here we go. Fourth down and Kemble to punt. That Trent Mount back there, and I can't identify looks like Mount.
Yeah.
Standing at his own 25. Let's see if Kemble's going to indeed punt the football. He has it, yep. He will punt it. High end over end. The Beat Diggers should just let this go, and the clock will run out, and that'll be the end of the opening half. With the score, Fort Morgan 20, and the Beat Diggers nothing. We are at halftime from Beat Digger Stadium on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back at Beat Digger Stadium. The Beat Diggers trail 20-0 to the Fort Morgan Mustangs. We head to the third quarter. 2 touchdown runs for Austin Breidenbach, an 11-yard run for Tate Kemble. And now Trent Mount and Jaron Peterson along with Adrian Lopez. Well, Lopez will retreat towards the 25-yard line. It'll be Peterson and Mount to receive this kickoff. And, Dave, all you want is a better second half than the first half. I mean, that's obviously easier said than done, but the Mustangs showed their weight there in the first half with the 3 touchdowns.
Right on. Offensively, we just need to string more than one first down together. We need 2 or 3 together, and even if we don't score, get some confidence on offense. Defensively, we just got to make tackles.
John Hocanetto to kick it off for the Mustangs. And he sends a line drive towards Peterson at around the 10. Running straight ahead to the 20. Peterson to the 25. A seam to the 40. Peterson into the 50-yard line. He kept running, and he was tackled from behind. Jaron Peterson with a return of 40 yards. I was going to say in the secondary, but there's really no secondary on special teams. But now the Beat Diggers benefit from a very good return by more than likely their leading ground gainer this season, if he stays healthy, Jaron Peterson.
Yep, he kind of jogged up there behind that wedge. He's caught the ball on the right side and drifted back towards the middle of the field to get behind his blockers. And once he got over there, he turned on the afterburners and forced a lot of those kickoff guys from Fort Morgan to over pursue.
First and 10 for Brush at the 50-yard line. Abadka's the receiver to the left, 2 to the right. 1 setback in a shotgun is Cade Urich. Peterson in motion to the left. He's got the handoff on the end around. Has a seam to the outside of the 45. Then he's tackled inside the 45 to about the 43, maybe the 42. And Jaron Peterson picks up 8 yards, 2nd down and 2.
Well, they're starting off with a bang, and that's what we want to see, and you can sure hear the crowd's awful happy about it.
We'll have a Beet Digger player of the game as well, win or lose. 2nd down and 2 for the Beet Diggers at the Fort Morgan 42-yard line. Man, it just seems you got to ride, JP. Guy's been good. He's been really good in this game. Urich again in the shotgun. Now Peterson will line up as an inside receiver to the right. Now he's back in motion. And now Urich will take the football, break out of a tackle, but he's going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage. Way too much penetration there. The initial hit was made by Isaac Linker. Really no gain there. 3rd down and 2 to go for Brush.
Yeah, he didn't fool anybody. Digger started off, though. That full house backfield had Cade Urich back there with the all 3 linebackers right next to him. Looked like they were going to pound the football at him. It just didn't fool Fort Morgan when they spread him out.
3rd down and 2 to go. Urich, handoff, Peterson, and he's not going to get anywhere. Running left. Nate Cage had penetration along with Angelo Rivera. Might have got to the 41. Kind of like stretched that football out, a gain of 1. It'll be 4th down and 1 to go for Brush. With 10-10 to go, 3rd quarter on 10-10, and Fort Morgan leads 20-0, and the Beet Diggers obviously are going to go for it.
Yeah, they're saying, you know what, we've got to be able to get a yard.
On 4th down and 1 to go. Urich under center. Back to throw. Looking, pressure coming, rolls to his left. Now he's going to get hit as he throws. Intercepted along the sideline. It's picked off. I'm not sure who got it. Was that McBride? I'm not sure. There's a flag down. But it is picked off. Would have been a turnover on downs anyway. And it's a hold against Brush. That'll be declined. And Fort Morgan's got the football with over 9.5 to go in the 3rd. A 2nd and 2, and the Beet Diggers could not convert on the next 3 plays. And that's the first turnover of the game for Brush.
Hey, I like the call, though. Fort Morgan was stacking all their guys up there expecting a run. Coach Call was hoping to catch them sleeping and be able to throw that deep ball, but unfortunately Cade Urich had too much pressure on him over there, and he just couldn't get the ball off.
Fort Morgan has it at their own 47-yard line. 10. Well, again, the goal is to stay healthy, and we already had 1 injury with Andrew Guzman. He's on the sideline right now standing, so doesn't look too bad for him. Backs in an eye. And there's the handoff to the first man through. That's Austin Breidenbach, and he's hit right at midfield, maybe on the other side of the 50. A gain of around close to 3, and that is Kenny Stegner in on the tackle. 2nd down and 6, a gain of 4, actually, for Austin Breidenbach.
Yep, 87 yards now for him on 10 carries.
Wow.
It's a pretty good average.
That's a sneaky amount of yards for him. Good job by Breidenbach, but Beet Diggers did a nice job on him on that play. 2nd down and 6 at the Beet Digger 49-yard line. This time, play action. Stopping. Throwing deep up the sideline. That pass is going to be caught! Oh, my gosh. McBride made an excellent play and a throw to the outside at around the 10-yard line. A Beet Digger defender was out there. It's going to be a 1st and goal. Let's see where they spot it. That might be at around the 6 or 7. Still waiting for the official spot. Gain of 42. What a play from Knapp to McBride. I'm not sure what was better, the throw or the catch.
Well, Mount made a play on it. Boy, he jumped up in the air. You have to give McBride some credit because he was able to catch the ball and see through Mount's hand. Really good concentration.
First and goal at the 7. There's the give right up the gut. Breidenbach just riding defenders inside the 5. He's going to be down at about the 2. Pick up a 5. A lot of Bead Diggers in there to make the play, but Ryan Dunker in on the hit. Second down and goal, and Fort Morgan is looking to go up by 4 scores in the game.
Breidenbach's their leading rusher now with 92 yards. Like you said, nothing fancy, just pounding the football.
Second down and goal from the 2. There's the give right up the gut. That's going to be a touchdown for Austin Breidenbach, his 3rd of the game. Number 2 scores from 2 yards out. And the Mustangs now lead the Bead Diggers 26-0.
Yeah, he went in there standing. See that offensive line of Fort Morgan just doing a really good job at driving their feet, sticking together, and wedge blocking.
Now the extra point to be attempted by John Hokenettle. Dave, impressive performance tonight by the Mustangs. High snap, and the kick is blocked. Kick is blocked. 7:58 to go. We are in the 3rd quarter in Brush. Fort Morgan 26. The Bead Diggers nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 4 plays, 53 yards in a minute 41. Austin Breidenbach scores from 2 yards out. The Mustangs lead 26-0. And here we go to kick it off will be John Hokenettle. This team could be better than last year, Dave. There's a line drive headed right up the middle and dropped by Trent Mount. The ball retreats towards the goal line, picks it up at the 3. Stutter steps to the 5, has a seam to the outside to the 20, gets a block, and then he's going to be spun down across the 20 to the 22 or 23. Nice job of Mount making something out of nothing.
A lot of times it happens like that. You know, there's a mix-up, drop the ball or something. It causes those guys to over-pursue, and it's hard to keep that returner in front of you.
So the Bead Diggers will have it at their own 23-yard line. With Coach Call and this coaching staff, we saw this a year ago. They lost by 40, and look what they did the rest of the season. One of the better teams in the state in Class 2A. So
with the team, nobody expected to do that.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I heard from anywhere from 4-5 to maybe even a 3-6 season, and they had a tremendous year. So can't get discouraged if you're a Bead Digger fan. Out of the shotgun for the 23 handoff. Peterson left side, hard running across the 25 to the 30. He fumbles it at the 35, and the Mustangs have the football. It's a 12-yard gain, but the football was recovered. And it looked like Gerardo Miranda recovered for Fort Morgan, if I have the right number and name. The officials are still convening, but it was clearly a fumble right before Peterson went down for the gain of 12. And, yeah, I don't know why they're still talking. This ball should be spotted.
I think Peterson was out there pleading his case. They might have listened to him a little bit, but still pointing Fort Morgan's ball.
Yeah, now you wonder if the Bead Diggers are so deflated that Kemble could break off one of those big runs, Dave. Because, man, that defense is back on the field. 1st and 10 from the 35. And play action, looking to throw. And the pass is off the hands of McBride on the little pass out to the left of the 25. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and that was a perfect pass. McBride just didn't look it in.
Yeah, he had hit him in the hands. It just went right in between his hands. He was looking to run already.
2nd down and 10 to go. Here for the Mustangs. Rominger Jewelry and Gifts is the leader in Northeast Colorado for diamonds, jewelry, watches, and expert jewelry repair, located in downtown Sterling. Well, now you got to expect the run, you would think. There's the give to Kimball. Stutter stepping back to the middle across the 35 to the 30. It's a gain of 5. Peterson tackled him from behind. 3rd down and 5 to go for the Mustangs, and we have an injured Bead Digger. We don't want to see that. Down on the ground for Brush is Ryan Dunker. So that's an official's timeout. With 7:21 to go, 3rd quarter, Fort Morgan leading 26-0. Accidents and illness can strike at any time, day and night. When they do, every second counts. As a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center is ready to handle any type of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center. He's getting up under his own power.
You know, a lot of times we've played Fort Morgan and games have lasted pretty long because of all the cramping and stuff like that going on. I'm not sure that's not what happened at Dunker.
I just noticed those Beat Digger coaching staff shirts look pretty sharp. That charcoal gray, you know. I mean,
You're wearing Digger colors.
Yeah,
you look good.
Yeah, love that one. they almost have the same color we do. But yeah, they got it. Digger emblems. That looks awesome. 3rd down and 5 to go for the Beat Digger 30. Dalen Knapp under center. Blitz coming. Knapp will hand it off right up the gut in a short gain of a couple. Nice play there by Abatka. Tate Kemble carried the football. Let's see, to the 28. 4th down and 3 to go for the Mustangs.
Had to come out of that double wing and try to get Brush to bite on that end around, and Brush didn't fall for it. You know, they made a good tackle on Kimball down there below the knees.
All right, they're going to go for it. Makes sense with 6.5 to go in the 3rd, and the Mustangs leading the Beat Diggers at Beat Digger Stadium 20-0. Fourth down and 3. Just inside the Brush 28-yard line. Beat Diggers nearly moved. Handoff right side. Campbell stutter steps, and he's down short of the mark to make for a first down at the 27. Riggs 10 made the play. A gain of 1. The Beat Diggers have the football back. Well, that's a good sign because they were in a hole there.
Yeah, and good job for Riggs 10. You know, that's pretty shifty back there with Kimball, and Riggs is a big kid. He's able to keep his feet and make that low tackle. It's an athletic play.
The Beat Diggers have it back with 6:15 remaining, 3rd quarter. And Brush down by 26. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line for the Beat Diggers. Abatka trying to race off the field, and, well, they caught him there. You can't have 12 on the field. Can't have 12 in the huddle.
Illegal substitution.
And
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first.
I'm only laughing, Dave, because you're running off the field. I mean, can I get away with it? I mean, they all think that, but obviously the officials can count. Now, those type of penalties should never happen 5 or 6 or 7 games in, but the first game, I think you expect it.
And, you know, high school football, they change formation so often. It's got to be hard to keep
right,
track.
and I mean, and Fort Morgan made the same mistake in the opening half. 1st and 15 for the Beat Diggers at their own 22-yard line. Out of a shotgun, Urich is rolling to his right, setting up, throws it up the right. Mount is out there, incomplete. He had a step on the defender at the 47-yard line of Fort Morgan, but just overthrown, and now T Money's getting up with a limp or a cramp, something to that degree. See if he can stay in the game. It'll be 2nd down and 15 to go, but you're right about Urich. He's got an excellent arm. Now he has to develop the touch that I'm sure he has, but he's certainly lacked in this game.
Right, yeah, he's gone 4 for 5 for a -1 yard. One completion, not that it was a bad completion, it was just a pass behind the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 15 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 22-yard line, and Ben Brown is limping on the field.
We have timeout.
Now the Beat Diggers take a timeout, brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. And let's see with the Beat Diggers can put together something now on offense, Dave.
Yeah, we just got to, I really think Cade Urich's got to have that completion. One of our receivers has got to run that pattern. They've got to get themselves open so that he can make that completion and develop the confidence that he needs. And until we can throw the ball or at least run the ball outside, we're not going to get anything offensively because Fort Morgan continues to stack the box. They got 9 guys up there and 2 safeties back there playing 10 yards off. There's no way we can do anything if we can't throw the ball.
I mean, aren't they putting together the perfect defensive game plan to really counter and contain and stop Rush's offense?
They got those big lugs up there on the that defensive line that are sure containing our inside running game. It just forces us to get out there in the open.
2nd down and 15 for the Beet Diggers at their own 22. Pass out in the right flat, caught by Peterson. Breaks out of a tackle along the right sideline, back to the inside, across the 30 to the 35. That's a gain of about 13 yards on the pass from Cade Urich to Jaron Peterson. The tackle was made by Dylan McBride, Trey's twin. And now Urich at least is in positive yardage with passing. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it about a couple of yards to go.
Yep, and that's going to force Fort Morgan to play defense a little bit differently. Maybe they'll get some of those guys out of that box and open up our running game.
Nick Wellen, the freshman, a late substitution as Adrian Lopez has a cramp. 3rd down and 2 to go at their own 35. Gosh, look how many up in the box. I mean, that's about 9 in the box. Urich drops the football, falls on it at the 33. A loss of about 1.5 yards. I'll say the 34. It'll be 4th down and now about 3 or 4 to go. So it's Beet Diggers going to have to punt again.
So many of our guys that we're counting on, they're all out there limping. I don't know if we have sprained ankles or just cramps, but a lot of guys limping around out there, not able to run. I see Mounts out there stretching. He's trying to get himself to go. I got to believe we're just cramping up.
Abadka to punt, standing at his own 20. Peterson now a late substitution. Yeah, he's going to snap it.
Yeah, we need him.
Peterson can do everything. And that's a high snap over Abadka's head. Abadka's going to pick it up. He's going to run with the football, and he's going to get taken down at about the 8-yard line. And maybe that was the issue when Peterson had to race out there. I don't know if he's the normal long snapper.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure he's our snapper.
Yeah, and sometimes that ball, Dave, gets stuck in the ground a little bit, or you don't really follow through with it. Yeah, that loss is, that's a special teams loss. So, no, it is not a special teams loss. It's a loss of about, on that play, that was a loss of 26. So 1st and goal for the Mustangs at the 8. Wow. 4:28 to go in the game. Dalen Knapp hands it off to Tate Kemble. He's stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. The Beet Diggers had all types of penetration. Hopefully we'll see that throughout the course of the season. Excellent hit made by Riggs Tan. And the loss is at least 1 yard, if not 2. Taking a while to spot the football. We'll call it a loss of 1. 2nd down and goal for the 9.
Still being able to hold Kimball to less than 100 yards is a huge
that's a huge
celebration.
Accomplishment. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I thought for sure he'd go for 100 tonight. He's such a game breaker. 2nd and goal for the 9. Dalen Knapp this time. Will hand it off on the counter. Running right is Kemble looking for a block. Gets a block. Swings it to the outside of the 5. Touchdown. Tate Kemble. Fort Morgan Mustangs 9 yards away. Fort Morgan 32. Brush nothing with 3:43 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, just that double wing, just like what Faith Christian used to run against us. Comes from this wing on this left side and takes the handoff, and Fort Morgan overloads that side with a lot of blockers. But you got to give Kimball credit because he took that jab step and then he waited for the block to set up. As soon as he got it, he used his speed to race around the corner.
His 2nd touchdown of the game. They have had issues with extra points. One was blocked and one was missed. Certainly want to fix that problem. Hokenadel to attempt it. Perfect snap. The kick is a line drive, and there's a flag down. It's good. Ben Brown is on the ground, and now he gets up. Let's see if this is after the extra point is good, which I think it is. Waiting for the preliminary signal. All right, we'll tell you after the break. Fort Morgan 33. It's running into the kicker. Fort Morgan 33, Brush nothing. It's a 30-second break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2 plays, 45 seconds. 9-yard run by Tate Kemble off a special teams mistake by the Beet Diggers. 33-0 now the score. And Dave, we might see the same scenarios a year ago where we get to a running clock if Fort Morgan scores a touchdown and tacks on an extra point.
Yeah, and As physical as this game's been, I'm sure Fort Morgan would love to get out of here. We were talking about injuries. I'm sure they want to get out of here without injuries as well.
High short kick fielded by Peterson at the 9. Running to his left and back towards the middle across the 25 to the 28. A return of close to 20. Jimmy Keller made the hit. And now let's see what the Bee Diggers can muster up offensively. Down by a bunch. I'd expect in the fourth quarter maybe to see some second-team players. Because, again, it's exactly what you mentioned. The goal is not to get players hurt in a game that is out of hand right now. With 3:37 to go in the third. Bee Diggers have been outscored in the last two meetings, now 80-7. Out of a shotgun is Urich. Awaits the snap, has got it, takes off with the football, seam to the right, a stiff arm, and then he stops and is down at around the 34-yard line. Trey McBride had some penetration. And it's a gain of about 5 on the play, close to 6, second down, and we'll call it 5.
Well, every positive yard he gets, that's going to give Cade confidence as well. So
we've seen a couple of times tonight, once by Peterson, I think right there by Cade. Probably should have kept going to the outside for the yardage. He stopped, and one defender ran by, but there was another one right there. They gang tackle very well for the 34, second down and 5. And there's the shotgun, the snap there to Jaron Peterson, or 2. Urich hands it off to Peterson across the left side, across the 35 towards the 39, close to a first down. Near the stick. We'll give him 5 yards, and the tackle was made over there by Dylan McBride. They'll give him a first down without measuring, and I think once we get to the post-game day, we'll know who our player of the game for Brush is, but we still have 14 minutes and 45 seconds of football to play. First and 10 for the Bee Diggers at their own 39. Urich this time is under center. 3 in the backfield. 9 in the box for Fort Morgan. Handoff right up the gut and a yard, and that's about it. The Bee Digger running back was driven back. And that was Isaac Linker in on the hit against Adrian Lopez. A gain of 1. Second and 9 to go for Brush.
Yep, just they're stacking that box so much, it's just making it impossible for Brush to run the ball.
Groceries, fresh cut meat and deli items, floral, pharmacy, Western Union, and public service payments. That's Brush Grocery Cart, 24-hour gas as well. Brush Grocery Cart, your one-stop shop, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Second and 9 for the 40 out of a shotgun as Urich trips to the right. One setback, that's Peterson. Rolling to his right, looking, throwing on the run, incomplete. Colin Cole was open underneath of the 48, but again, he sailed it well over the head of the junior receiver, Colin Cole.
Yeah, he was open, just didn't quite have the hops he needed to get to that one.
Well, the thing is there, Dave, is that not only do you have to follow through, you got to throw that ball down. Urich is much taller than Cole.
Right. He was under some pressure. Those McBride boys, they're on each side of that defensive line, and when they play, you can watch. It's like they're in a fight. They're physical. They don't just push guys away. They shove them with some anger, with some, fiery fury.
Oh, yeah. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left out of the shotgun again. Third down and 9 for the 40. The direct snap there goes to Urich, running to his right across the 45. It lunges to the 46, but every time the Bee Diggers have a seam there, a Mustang is there to make the play. This time Jimmy Keller from behind. Gain of 6. Fourth down and 3 to go. And let's see the Bee Diggers just play the game of field position, or they're going to go for it, which, hey, you got none to lose.
Yeah.
Why not? Good call by Coach Call, no pun intended. Fourth down and 3 from their own 46. Trips to the left. Again, Urich in a shotgun. Peterson to his right. Awaiting the snap is the junior. Has the football. Throws to his left. The pass is incomplete. And let's see, it was intended along the left flat there for Trent Mount. Angelo Rivera read that thing perfectly, and I think had it been caught, he would have made the play. And I think one thing that I'm noticing with some of these pass plays, you want to sell it a little bit better. I mean, as soon as Urich got the snap, he was looking left.
Yeah.
And I get it, but against this team, I think you need a little bit of deception as well.
Exactly. And, you know, when they know the pass is coming, they've shut our run down so well, they know we have to throw the football. But, you know, Coach Calls has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Oh,
he doesn't have to use them tonight.
Right. No, this is you don't show your deck in your hand this early. Do we have a penalty here against Fort Morgan? You see, they made that mistake twice.
5-yard penalty.
So they're back now with a 1st and 15 with 1:01 to go. Third quarter, Fort Morgan leads Brush 33-0. It'll be back at the 49-yard line of Fort Morgan. I tell you, Fort Morgan's schedule this year, Dave, it's not what it was in past years. They'll be challenged certain weeks. As good as they are, they will get challenges. 1st and 15, handoff to Breidenbach, running off right tackle, and he fumbles the ball. He's stripped, and the Beat Diggers have it. He was stripped, and the Beat Diggers recover. Let's see who came up with that football. And coming up with that football for Brush looked like, yep, that was Austin Brunkard, a sophomore, who recovered the fumble at the 43-yard line. We'll get Breidenbach about 7 yards before the fumble, 7 to 8 yards, and now the Beat Diggers having it. Hey, anything to point towards success at this point.
Absolutely. That did put Breidenbach over the century mark with 102 yards. Kimball's got 106.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 43. Out of a shotgun, Cade Uhrig has the snap, hands off to Peterson. He is destroyed in the backfield by Trey McBride. Jaron Peterson had no shot. It's a loss of 3.
McBride, he stemmed down late. You know, he lined up as a defensive end, and then he moved down in between our tight end and our tackle, and he just blitzed through there really quick. But just showing his athleticism. You know, he's so aggressive. You know, and he's playing at a different level than the Diggers are right now.
Yeah, he's really good. 2nd down and 13 from their own 40. Trips to the right. Uhrig has the football, rolls to his right, stops, throws underneath, caught by Cole at the 45, and then he wrestles his way towards the 48-yard line. It's a gain of about 8. It'll be 3rd down and 4, and that's the final play of the third quarter. With the score, Fort Morgan 33, Broad nothing on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Dave Uhrig. Let's start the fourth quarter, where the Beat Diggers trail the Fort Morgan Mustangs in Brush 33-0. 3rd down and 4 for the Beat Diggers at their own 48. Trips to the left out of a shotgun. Uhrig looks, throws over the middle, passes incomplete off the hands of Ben Brown. That should have been caught at the 46-yard line, a little bit high, but off his hands, and it's 4th down. And those connections will be something that we'll be seeing this year in terms of actually succeeding.
Right.
And that should have been made right there.
Yeah, Ben should have caught that. But he saw the footsteps coming because they were coming right towards his face. But he had to turn around a little bit to catch the ball and took a shot in the back.
Beat Diggers once again will go for it on 4th down. At their own 48-yard line. Again, trips to the left. That means 3 receivers to one side. T-Money is the outside receiver to the left out of a shotgun. Uhrig, low snap, pumps, throws it up the left side. Mount is wide open, and it's incomplete just beyond his outstretched hands at the 22-yard line. A well-executed play, but again, game 1 versus maybe a game 6 or 7, they're going to connect on those down the line. I mean, I thought it was executed beautifully, except the throw was just a little bit too long.
And that coupled with Mount still limping around out there, so, you know, I'm sure Cade's looking forward to him running a little bit quicker down the sideline, and that causes timing to be off a little bit.
Yeah, and you can't get frustrated. I mean, again, we can use last year as an example. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Beat Digger 48. 11:51 to go in the game, and Fort Morgan leads 33-0. On 1st down, Knapp will hand it off right up the guts, and breaking a tackle is Breidenbach. He's in the secondary across the 40 to the 35. It's a gain of 13 for Austin Breidenbach. He might be Fort Morgan's player of the game tonight.
Yeah, he's at 115 yards now on 14 carries. Just running strong, you know. They both, Kimball's elusive, Breidenbach's powerful.
1st and 10, just shy of the 35. They'll call it the 36-yard line. Backs at an eye. If Fort Morgan scores a touchdown and tacks on an extra point, then it's running clock. Handoff Kimball. Big first down. Stutter steps inside the 20. What a great move as he spins to the 15. B-Digger defender was left in his tracks trying to make the tackle. And for Tate Campbell, that's a pickup of 20. I mean, that's a special running back, Dave. That's why he could be an all-state player this year.
Yeah, he makes people miss, and people have a hold of him. And like we said before, he has that uncanny ability to be able to just limp leg out of there. They have a hold of him, but he can just pull through the tackles.
First and 10. Campbell's out of there right now. They're at the 15-yard line. Knapp will hand off to Breidenbach, running behind a block, and he lunges his way to the 10 for a gain of 5. Trying to find the B-Digger who made that play. He's 2nd down. And 5 to go. Daniel Abadka made the hit. 10:23 to go in the game.
So that Fort Morgan offensive line's just blocking so hard. Like that time you saw number 61. I can't remember who that kid is. I'll tell you what, he was shoving our guy backward, and they were just following him. Isaiah Celestino.
Handoff right side, inside the 10 to about the 8. Let's see who carried the ball that time, and that for Fort Morgan was George Perea. He had a big touchdown run last year, a gain of 3. 3rd down and 2 from the 7.
Their offensive line's just upfield all the time.
Well, again, 4 returning starters. 3rd down and a long 2. The board says the 8-yard line. I got the 7, either way. Perea remains in the backfield. Breidenbach in front of him. On 3rd down and 2, B-Diggers looked like they were coming in a blitz handoff. Breidenbach right up the gut. He bulls his way to the 5, still on his feet. He's still going towards the goal line, and he's down, but it's a 1st and goal. At about the 2, it's a gain of 5 for Austin Breidenbach, and you're right about that power, Dave. I mean, man, he's displaying it in a big way.
Yeah, and that offensive line's on their feet, too, and they're all driving their feet. It's like a glob moving down the field.
1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
It's like that Digger defensive line needs to just drop and make a pile. May not make the tackle, but at least they won't get pushed backwards.
Well, you would assume it's either Breidenbach or Perea. Breidenbach has scored 3 tonight. There's a quarterback sneak by Knapp, and he's going to get in on the sneak. 2 yards away for Dalen Knapp. And the Mustangs now lead 39-0. That was the 6th play of the drive. That's a 3-minute drive, and they travel 48 yards. If this extra point is good, we go to a running clock. If not, we stay as is with the clock stopped. High snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good by John Hokenadel. Running clock, here we go, 8:51. The clock should be running, and it is. It's Fort Morgan 40, Brush nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. It's a 17-yard return on the ensuing kickoff by Trent Mount. The B-Diggers have the football at their own 32-yard line. Dalen Knapp with a 2-yard run as the Mustang quarterback under a running clock scores, and with the extra point it is 40-0. And the clock is stopped here for an injury.
Another cramp.
Yep. Running off the field is J.P. Hammer, who had that big return. So here we go. 1st and 10. Yeah, why is that clock stopped with 7:31 to go? Doesn't make any sense. At the 32-yard line. There's the handoff to Peterson. Across the left side to the 33, a gain of 1. Stacked up by a couple of Mustangs. Angelo Rivera made the hit along with Isaac Linker. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Bead Diggers. Again, a 6-play, 48-yard drive and an even 3 minutes for the touchdown. Now the Bead Diggers are just trying to do anything positive right now. Fort Morgan's second half just as impressive as the first half. From the 33 under center is Cade Urich. There's the pitch right to Lopez. Let's see if he can find a seam to the outside. He's got the inside portion of it, but he's down. Looked like he was going to cut back to the 35, and he was hit right there at the 35 for a gain of 1.
Just a lot of power there by the Mustangs. We didn't have the ability to shed that tackle.
3rd down and 8. Second straight year that Fort Morgan's going to win the game by running clock. It's getting a little bit cool now as well. Oh, well, I saw some heat lightning out there. All right, 3rd down and 8. Out of a shotgun. Once again, it's Urich. Waiting the snap. There's the handoff to Peterson on the end route. Back to the middle of the 40. He's got a seam into the secondary. Peterson at the 40 of Fort Morgan. And he's tackled at the 35. Jaron Peterson's had a nice game. And that's a gain of 31 yards and a Bead Digger 1st down.
Nice run.
Oh, he's had some really good runs tonight. The football at the 34.
He broke through that initial surge of the defenders, and of course Morgan had everybody up there close to that line of scrimmage, but he did a good job of changing directions and forcing some of those defenders to turn their hips.
1st and 10 for the Bead Diggers at the Mustang 34. Again, Urich out of the gun. In motion to the left is, looks like Nick Wellen. Back to throw is Urich, rolling to his left, throwing underneath. The pass is caught by Abatka. Nice leaping grab inside the 30 to about the 27. It's a gain of close to 7. Well, that was a very nice catch by Daniel Abatka.
You bet. Just building on some confidence. Nice to see that catch, and he had to go up in the air and use his hands.
2nd down, about 3 to go. The Bead Diggers still have time here to get into the end zone. They've got 4 minutes and 42 seconds, but it's a running clock, so we'll be done in that amount of time unless we have a timeout or an injury. From the 27 in a gun, Urich rolls to his right, still moving, still rolling, throws over the middle, caught by Nick Wellen inside the 20 to about the 17. And now Urich is finding his mark. It's a gain of 10. Jimmy Keller makes the tackle. Another 1st down for the Bead Diggers. Well, Dave, you finished strong. At least that can carry over to the next week.
Hey, that's exciting to see a freshman out there. Now, that's something you have to do as you build those programs and get them going. Is you need that depth as you're bringing the kids on year after year.
1st and 10 for the Bead Diggers, lined up along the right side at the Fort Morgan 17-yard line, under center. Urich will pitch left to Peterson, and now we've got a flag down. There must have been a motion penalty.
Prior to the snap.
That's what it was.
Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
1st down and 15.
Peterson went ahead and ran into the end zone. I think he wanted to make sure he got in there once tonight.
This would be huge for Brush if they could just get in once. They'll go into week 2, which is in 8 days against Lamar at 1:30. Again, a Saturday afternoon game right here in Brush. 1st down and 15 for the 23. One receiver out to the left, 2 to the right. Peterson now in motion to the left. Out of the gun is Urich. 2-step drop, takes off with the football, runs to his right, a stiff arm, but then he's down to around the 20. Jimmy Keller has made some excellent plays out there for Fort Morgan. And the gain there was just about 3 yards.
But positive yards, and There's just a lot of positives happening in this part of the drive, in this
Yep.
part of the game.
So it'll be second down and about 12 to go from the Mustang 20. 2.5 to go in the game. Fort Morgan leads 40-0. Again, out of the gun with two split to the right, one receiver to the left. Now Peterson again in motion to the left. Urich has the snap, rolls to his left, sets up, throws along the sideline, incomplete. Actually, it was towards the middle. I was off my angle. Pass was intended for Abadka. High and out of his reach. It'll be third down, and when the next play commences, we'll be well inside of 2 minutes to go.
Brings up third down.
And in fact, if the Beet Diggers don't score, Fort Morgan probably will not even run another play because the running clock will expire. So Brush essentially has 2 plays left in this game if they don't get a first down. Third down and 12 for the 20. Clock is down to 1:37. 3 receivers to the left. One setback, that's Peterson to Urich's left, out of the gun, rolling to his left, pressure coming backside, takes off with the football, breaks the tackle to 15, to the 10, along the sideline at the 5, and he's knocked out of bounds. They're going to backtrack it to about the 6. Yep, is it the 6 or the 7? Man, officials move one way or the other. Gain of 13. First and goal at the 7. Ninth play of the drive coming up. We've got 1:06 to go. How about it, David? The final play could be a touchdown.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go into next week.
Absolutely. First and goal from the 7. You've got probably 2 plays to go. I don't know if Coach Call will call a timeout. At the 7. In the gun is Cade Urich. Fort Morgan, of course, wants the shutout. Now trips to the right. Urich has the snap. One step drop over the middle. The pass is broken up at the goal line. That was intended over the middle for Trent Mount. Now we have 27 seconds to go. 10th play of the drive is coming up. I think the Beet Digger fans want that touchdown. We're down to 20 seconds. They'll get another play off, but this will be the last play of the game. This will be the last play unless Brush calls a timeout. 10 seconds to go. Out of the gun is Urich. Trips to the right. On second down, rolls to his right, still rolling, throwing underneath. The pass is caught, and towards the end zone, short. Was that Lopez who caught it? I think the Beet Diggers might have called a timeout. It was caught at the 3-yard line and tackled at the 1. Was Lopez for a gain of 6. The Beet Diggers did call a timeout
Yeah, timeout.
with maybe a second to go.
2 seconds. Back on
2
the clock.
seconds back on the clock. Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance sponsors Beet Digger timeouts. Listen, I know it seems like it doesn't matter. It does matter, in terms of getting into the end zone, Dave.
Yep, absolutely. You want to score. You want to have some momentum going into next week. Lamar's going to bring a good team up. We always have battles with them.
Yep. Looks like the spot is the 2. Just inside the 2. This will be the final play of the game
The 1 yard line.
with 2 seconds to go.
Third and goal.
Well, it's just outside the 1. That's the official spot. Under center. Urich, hands off left side. Peterson. And he's in there. Jaron Peterson scores for the Beet Diggers from 2 yards away on the 11th play of the drive. That was a 68-yard drive. It took 7.5 minutes. 40-6. Now let's see, because the extra point is always an untimed down. So what's going to happen here? Just the end of the game. That'll just be the end of the game. The final score, Fort Morgan 40,
Our final score.
Brush 6.
40. Beet Diggers.
Let's take a 3-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Welcome to the Beet Digger post-game show, which is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan are your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed. Mr. D's Ace Home Center. I'm John Beltran with Dave Urich here on 1010 and KSIR.com, as well as our post-game coverage on Facebook Live. The Mustangs scored early. touchdown run by Austin Breidenbach from 8 yards away. Extra point was good. It was 7-0. A 44-yard drive in a minute 20. Then the Mustangs actually had their best drive in their second drive of the game, 13 plays, but the Beat Diggers kept them out of the end zone. Breidenbach, though, would score again, 11 yards out, 66 yards in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The PAT was no good. It was 13-0. And then Fort Morgan would get on the board again before halftime. Tate Campbell from 11 yards out. That was a 3-play, 40-yard drive in 47 seconds. And again, that was the lead at the break, 20-0. The Mustangs kept it going in the third quarter. Breidenbach scored again. A 2-yarder, his third touchdown of the game. 4 plays in a minute 41. 53 yards is what they covered. The PAT was blocked. It was 26-0. And then Fort Morgan tacked on 2 more touchdowns to make it 40-0. The final score, Dalen Knapp scored from 2 yards out. And prior to that, Tate Campbell with a 9-yard touchdown run, his second TD of the game off Beat Diggers' special teams mistake. The Beat Diggers did get on the board on the last play of the game. Jaron Peterson from 1 yard out, completing a 68-yard drive, but that was it. Fort Morgan wins by a score of 40-6, and let's face it, Dave, it was about that Mustang power running game because Breidenbach actually, I think, had better yards per carry than Tate Campbell tonight. Campbell was effective, but Breidenbach was unstoppable at times.
Yeah, he was the man, ran with a lot of power, but you have to give credit to that offensive line of Fort Morgan. You called it before the game. You know, all those returners, all that experience, and all that beef and all that time in their weight room really paid off because they slammed the ball right at Brush. They ran the ball 38 times tonight for 261 yards total rushing. Breidenbach led their team with 16 rushes, 125 yards. Actually, Tate Campbell had 1 more yard than him, but he had to do it in 20 carries, 126 yards. Dalen Knapp had 2 carries for 7 yards. But he did throw the ball pretty effectively. 7 attempts, he completed 4 of those for 57 yards. Remember, they had 1 really big play to Trey McBride, a 42-yarder right down the sideline.
And it was an excellent throw and catch for the Beat Diggers. I mean, they had 1 man tonight that was effective. That was Jaron Peterson.
Right, 17 carries, 91 yards, but he really was the offense. We had 151 yards total offense, 108 of those on the ground. Cade Urich had 32 yards on 9 carries. We also had a couple other guys chip in, some with Wellen, Lopez, and Perea, adding up a total of like 7 yards or 8 yards. So we threw the ball 14 times. We completed 6 of those. Most of those were in the fourth quarter, but it was a positive because we were able to accumulate some offense. Our leading pass receiver was Peterson, though. He had 2 catches for 12 yards.
And the Beat Diggers really suffered from penalties as well, Dave, in the opening half. And you mentioned that face masking penalty. That led to the first touchdown. So mistakes were part of this thing. And really no surprise that Fort Morgan was this good in the first game of the season, just like they were a year ago.
Right, and they made it all the way to that state championship game last year, and Pueblo,
state semis, but
our
almost
state semis. But Pueblo East just dominated them. Then they go on and win the state championship. So I think Fort Morgan's right on track with where they want to be in. Historically, the winner of this game goes into the playoffs and does really well.
But even the loser has been pretty good the last, 2 or 3 years. They've at least made the playoffs like the Beat Diggers did last year. Beat Digger Player of the Game brought to you by Cargill, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Dave, obviously, it's got to go to Jaron Peterson. He really ran hard tonight, as we mentioned, and as you talked about with the stats. I mean, he put up some effective numbers, over 5 yards a carry.
Absolutely. Not to mention all the plays he made defensively and had some pretty impressive returns with the kickoffs.
All right, Dave and I will be back with you a week from tomorrow. Should hope for some better results when they take on the Lamar Savages. Kickoff at 1:30 a week from tomorrow, right here on 1010, as well as KSIR.com. Our sound engineer and producer doing an excellent job has been Rose Condis. Our replay engineer is Julie Garcia. For Dave Urich, I'm John Beltran. The final score once again tonight from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush in the opener of the 2016 season. Fort Morgan 40, Brush 6. Right here on Facebook Live, 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.